then you might have, say, 2 weeks.
Call this regular meeting to order. Call roll.
Mayor Querom.
Here.
Councilmember Swanson.
Here.
Mabry.
Here.
Gomez.
Here.
Newman.
Here. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to get started tonight under public comment. I'm going to invite Tim Smith to come up, and we're going to recognize Rob Jensen of the Princeton Police Department, Princeton Elementary School District.
You might have to hit the button on top there, Tim, make sure it's on.
Test.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate being here this evening with everyone. I'm going to start in a different place if I could, just real quick, and I will keep it moving. Because I want to end with Rob, but I just want to give a general thank you. This is my last year as the superintendent of Princeton Elementary School District, and it's my 16th year as the superintendent. I was 9 years principal, so 25th year at the district. And I just want to give a public thank you to the city for everything you've done to support our school district. Just some examples, the fire department every year in October does a fire prevention with our students. It's a blast. Kids look forward to it, teachers love it. It's a really good time. It's nice to have that support and interaction with the Princeton Fire Department to help our kids. Our street crews, I mean, we'll call and say, hey, can you help us out with a pile of snow? Because the kids are having to go around it and move them out the street. On literally that day it'll be moved. Curb repairs, things like that. We've just always had a very good relationship with the street crew as well. The work that the electrical department did during the ratio response is amazing and much appreciated as well. Mayor Querom, you served on our master plan committee, and I greatly appreciated that and all the support you've been to me. Tom, just in the short time he's been here, has just become a very, very good friend of mine and a very loyal friend, and someone I've relied on heavily to call on. And if I text him, he gets back to me immediately. So the relationship I've been able to have with this city and the different departments has been much appreciated. In regards to Rob, Rob is as well a very dear friend of mine because of the relationship we've been able to establish over the past 25 years. I told my Board of Education before actually COVID started that in my last year I wanted to kind of bring a Hall of Fame together. People that I had interacted with that had a special impact on our district. And combination of COVID, of course, and then Rob had his hip surgery and things, so we didn't get to it until just last month. So we're far into the school year, but Rob is an incredibly special person at Princeton Elementary. Any one of my teachers could stand up here and give this talk. Any one of my principals could. Rob's been our DARE officer and our school resource officer at Princeton Elementary. We decided for 23 years? 22 years. That's a long time. It's a long time to do anything. But to really, he was in every single school building. He knows the kids' names, first names, better than many of the staff because he is in every single building. They all, of course, all know him too. And what I said to our Board of Education is that our students adore Rob. He invests in them when he's in the schools. What many don't know is that Rob fulfilled many responsibilities. He helped us actually meet some state mandates. Of course, drug awareness being one of them through the DARE program. Anti-bullying. Rob would work with our students on anti-bullying curriculum, and that is a part of there's a state mandate that relates to curriculum for anti-bullying. Internet safety is another one that Rob was very important. He served an important role in that process, and would work with students in terms of social media use and things like that, and of course bicycle safety. So there was a lot more than just him showing up in the building every day. He was actually a part of our staff, and he will always be an honorary member of the Princeton Elementary staff. The last thing Rob did was helped us get our ALICE training implemented, along with chief camera, which is ultimately how we plan to keep our kids safe in our schools. And his persistence for us to attend that, along with Tom's, our entire staff is trained. So this relationship we've had with the Princeton Police Department has been absolutely amazing. And our relationship with Rob Jensen is one that Princeton Elementary will always remember. We miss him greatly, and we wish him the very, very best, because that's what he has given us, is his best. So, Rob, thank you.
I think with Rob, I think the thing that really stands out is that in the 22 years he served as a DARE officer, he actually loved it. I mean, he loved the position. You know, he looked forward to it every year, and every year he put on that DARE program at the gymnasium, and you couldn't get anybody else in the gym. It was packed. It was did a great job. So, thank you to Rob, and thank you to Tim for your years of service at Princeton Elementary. And you'll be missed, although I know you are leaving it in good hands, but you will be missed. So, thank you. Yeah, Rob, would you like to? You want to come up and put you on the spot here?
Yeah. My dear graduation. No, I want to thank Tim also for the kind words, but our elementary staff made it incredibly easy for me to do that too. We have a top-notch school district, I believe, here, filled with top-notch people, very professional people, and so through those years, a lot of great friendships were made for me with staff and kids alike. And I always look forward to see some former students. I was telling Tim before the meeting that when Dine-In had opened up a few weeks back and we stopped at Olive Garden, we got seated, and of course the waitress comes over and says, "You were my DARE officer." Great, that made me feel really old. So. But that's okay. That's okay. It's neat when you can still see people like that and catch up with them. So. And I thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to do that, you know, all through the years. Especially the early years of doing this, we footed the bill on a lot of that, and, you know, the council was always very supportive of that, so I really appreciate all of your work and your dedication, not to me, but to the kids, and you guys have been phenomenal through the years for that, so I just represented our department on that, that's all. So. But we really thank you, because that's where it starts, is with you guys, and then with administration like we have with Chief Hammer that is top notch. So my job's the easy part. So I just really appreciate the opportunity to do that for so many years, and hopefully hopefully left a good mark with lots of people. So thanks.
Okay, so do we have still in the public comment period? Do we have anybody with public comments? Okay, we'll go to yeah, and you guys, you don't have Tim and Rob and everybody. You don't have to, if you want to bail.
You're excused. You're excused.
Thanks again.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, we'll go to, if there's no other public comment, we'll go to the approval of the minutes to Commissioner Newman.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that we approve the minutes from our regular council meeting on February 16th, 2021.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Any comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mavry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querom.
Aye. We'll go to approval of invoices and City Clerk Nelson.
For this period in the Department of Accounts and Finances, we have invoices totaling $87,525.77. In the Department of Streets and Public Improvements, we have invoices totaling $250,132.69. In the Department of Public Safety, we have invoices totaling $179,580.58. And in the Department of Public Property and Utilities, we have invoices totaling $217,500.50. $171.27. Mayor, all council members present have confirmed their reviews of all invoices and now are submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve the invoices as presented.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Any comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. We'll go to regular business and city clerk Nielsen.
Next on the agenda is ordinance O-21-002. This is an ordinance amending the enterprise zone within the city of Princeton. I will mention that this ordinance is identical to the ordinance that was passed on February 16th after we took away the need for a second reading. However, we recently received word from North Central Illinois Council of Governments that they neglected to put 4 property identification numbers on the exhibit. And they felt more comfortable if it were run through the system one more time. So there's really no textual changes other than adding 4 PIN numbers to the exhibit. So with that being said, Mayor, all council members have reviewed this and it's submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve ordinance O-21-002.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Any comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is ordinance O-21-003. This is the second and final reading of an ordinance amending the budget for the fiscal year commencing on May 1st, 2020 and ending on April 30th, 2021. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve ordinance O-21-003.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Any comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is ordinance O-21-004. This is an ordinance authorizing the sale of certain personal property no longer needed by the public body. This is the first reading. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we advance ordinance O-21-004 to the second reading.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Teresa?
In your packet, you have actually, given to you tonight, an updated list that needs to be approved. 6 items on there: Ford Explorer, a garbage truck, a white Impala, black Impala, Dodge Charger, and a bucket truck. So, in order for us to get rid of this equipment, you need your approval for that. Some of these will be auctioned, or they may be or looking at a couple ideas for trade on some of these. So we're trying to get rid of some of the older equipment that we don't need sitting around. So
Motion has been seconded. Any further questions or comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is ordinance O-21-005. This is an ordinance increasing bulk water rates. This is the first reading. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we advance ordinance O-21-005 to the second reading.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Tracy?
Try again.
Teresa?
Yes, this is just increasing the fee to $20 per 1,000 gallons. So the original price was $10 per 1,000 gallons. So.
And this doesn't really affect people that live in the city limits. This is for people that live out in the country and come in and buy water. So 105 customers total that live outside the city limits. So the motion has been seconded. Any questions, comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is ordinance O-21-006. This is an ordinance amending city code to increase garbage collection rates. This is the first reading. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we advance ordinance O-21-006 to the second reading.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Teresa?
current rates for residents being $10.50 will be going up to $11.50, and $22 per resident outside of city limits. And the reasoning behind this, as many of you realize, when we talk about the garbage and needing to replace garbage trucks, it's very expensive to replace the garbage trucks, and the budget does not support that. So we have enough with the garbage trucks right now with one of the overhauls to get us through for a couple of years, but we need to start building up enough money to replace those trucks. The rates have not been increased for, Quentin, you can correct me on this, with 10 plus years. So, and this isn't including your garbage, recycling, and your brush, so it's all encompassing. But we need to start thinking ahead so we don't have to be borrowing this money to replace these vehicles.
Yeah, it's a good way to go. It's 25 cents a week is what it amounts to. And as Teresa said, it's not just garbage, but it's recycling and yard waste, but also after storms too. You know, we're out with the trucks, with the garbage trucks, and picking up as well. So they take a beating. They only last 3 years. They really take a beating. So, any further questions, comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson. Aye. Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is ordinance O-21-007. This is an ordinance amending the city code increasing the bulk sewage disposal rates. This is the first reading. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we advance ordinance O-21-007 to the second reading.
Second.
Motion's been second. Teresa?
As Pete read there, the wastewater haulers that are dumping at our wastewater plant are dumping for currently $35 per disposal or $750 per unlimited disposal. This will ultimately affect non-residents, so it's not going to impact the residents themselves. We only have a handful of haulers that actually do the unlimited or even dump here. So we're one of the few communities, as Tim had told me, our water and wastewater superintendent, that actually take this disposal. So in order, and you know, looking at the budget, what the impact on the cost to our system, we need to start making sure we're covering those expenses with the extra dumping that's occurring. So, and for one of the few communities taking it, we could probably expect an increase in the future with dumping. So,
Any other questions, comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson. Aye. Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is Resolution R-21-008. This is a resolution authorizing the sale of real estate, namely Perry Plaza. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this resolution and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve resolution R-21-008.
Second.
Motion has been second. Perry Plaza was being handled and managed by Perry Memorial Hospital. So when we go through this process with OSF had no interest in taking Perry Plaza. So with the city owning the hospital, the property was deeded back to the city, so it's city property. So it's a 38,500 square foot building. It's got 4 tenants in it as it is. And the city really doesn't have use for the building itself, and we don't want to, maintain it long term. So we did have we did have the building appraised, and it appraised at $460,000, and that's what we're going to put in the paper on Saturday. Will be a request for proposal, and those requests for proposals will be due on noon on the 19th of March. So we'll see where that takes us. So that's the purpose for the permission to sell. Do you have any comments or questions? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson. Aye. Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Abstain.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye.
Okay, next on the agenda is Resolution R-21-009. This is a resolution authorizing a power lease agreement, an easement agreement with AT&T. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this resolution and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve Resolution R-21-009.
Second.
Motion's been second. Teresa?
This is a space line tower that's currently, we have a lease with AT&T. Now they're about 1 year earlier than what the lease, or the expiration of the lease. So we'll call this a renewal / amendment to the lease. AT&T came to us with a couple of options with the lease renewal. One being we continue forward as we have been at about $14,000 per year with a small increase each year. Or they came to us with one lump sum for long term for 99 years for $205,000. So if we did some of the math in-house, and it would take us till at least 2034 if we go as we are with the current lease amounts with a small increase to even reach $205,000. So in the best interest of the city, given we don't know what will even happen with technology in 99 years, I think the $205,000 up front is a pretty good deal, especially right now. It'll help us considerably. So unless anybody's got any questions, John's been involved quite a bit on this one because it's kind of a confusing one. So
it's a matter of economics, I think.
Yep.
The legalities of it's not that complicated, but it's a matter of getting your crystal ball out and figure out the best economic outcome.
Yeah, and this is for a cell tower that's on our water tower. So,
Basically, we'll be having the revenues way ahead of time before
Upfront.
we even have to worry about it.
now they do have the right to terminate early, but we don't lose that money. So it's once it's ours, it's ours.
After how many years can they terminate? I don't know.
We can't terminate it for
No,
99.
after they can terminate.
Oh, they could terminate anytime.
So if they were to terminate, not that would happen within a year, we still keep that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
any other questions, comments? Okay. Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson. Aye. Mabry. Aye. Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. Thank you, Teresa, for the city manager report.
I don't have anything else for my report side of things, but I do want to mention to the council, the next meeting, council meeting, March 15th, we will have a 5:30, I guess we'll call it budget planning meeting prior to, so I'll plan on using the training room with the Decatur Fire Department, just as a reminder, 5:30, next meeting.
And that's open to the public.
Yes, it is, yep, and department heads.
Department heads,
Most of the
yeah.
department heads there, so.
Okay, thank you. So under mayor report, I just have a couple items. First of all, I got our yearly proclamation to read. April 11th, 2021 marks the 53rd anniversary of the passage of the U.S. Fair Housing Law, Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968 as amended, which enunciated a national policy of fair housing without regard to race, color, creed, national origin, can't talk tonight, sex, familiar status, and handicap, and encourages fair housing opportunities for all citizens. The City of Princeton, as well as the Illinois Valley Association of Realtors, are committed to highlight the Fair Housing Law, Title 8 of the Civil Rights Act of 1968 by continuing to address discrimination in our community, to support programs that will educate the public about the right to equal housing opportunities, and to plan partnership efforts with other organizations to help assure every American of their right to fair housing. Therefore, I, Joel Querom, the mayor of the City of Princeton, do hereby resolve that April 2021, being Fair Housing Month, begin a year-long commemoration of the U.S. Fair Housing Law, and urge all citizens to wholeheartedly recognize this celebration throughout the year. Then we have a board appointment. Gary?
I move that we appoint Barry Portman to fill an unexpired term ending July 30th, 2023 to the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners.
Second.
Motion's been second. Comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson. Aye. We get to the right page here. Mabry. Aye. Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. That's all I have tonight. So do we have any old business? Any new business?
If I may say something for that, I just I want to extend my gratitude and thank the city of Princeton, Chief Tom Kemmer, and Quentin, as we were in need of a forklift to get some refrigeration units for our vaccines from a truck. And of course, we don't have a forklift, and Terry made a call to them, and they graciously sent the forklift and the driver just in time to get those items off the truck. So thank you. I also want to say, this is not so much for the city, but I just want to remind people that we have a new system for registering for vaccines. The system was basically recommended from the state, and there's a lot of health departments that are using it. Tomorrow is our first one. That clinic is full. And what happens is that there's more information that's required out of those. For example, you have to have a full address, a full date of birth, your occupation, to make sure that you are an essential worker and you actually qualify to actually get the vaccine. And so we tried it out. We got full pretty quickly. We had to cancel a lot of them because a lot of them didn't have the information that was in there as far as an essential worker, or they weren't just either one. But just want to make sure everybody aware that this is something that is happening. We're also going to have another one coming up for Tuesday. But this is our trial, since the state has highly recommended for us to use this. It's called the EM-Track system, which is something we were going to use right at the beginning, but the state did not approve our points of distribution for the clinic in a timely manner, so we weren't able to do it. And so we ended up falling back to paper and pen to be able to make those calls to continue the vaccination.
So for those of us that have already registered, Hector, do we have to do anything different?
No. For all of those that already had received their first dose under the old system so far, they will call you to get your second dose. And remember, you can get your second dose up to 6 weeks after your first dose.
Is this new system already up and running, or is it something?
Actually, we have the clinic tomorrow,
Well,
and that one's already full. They want you to go ahead and submit it like 3 days prior to the clinic, and then it goes live at least a day, maybe 2 days before the actual clinic. And it fills up pretty quick. We get a lot of people from different counties, state, Iowa. So all of those have to be gone through, and we do remove them, or if they don't meet the criteria, which is all essential workers. And then we did put a list up on Facebook, and 65 and over. And for those that don't have the capabilities of having a computer or an iPhone that they can use it, or someone that can do it for them, we are going to have a number for someone to call, and that person will go ahead and get them registered. We have slots that are going to be saved strictly for them.
okay. Anybody else, any new business? Okay, any public comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn and reconvene.
I move that we adjourn our meeting this evening and reconvene for a special budget meeting on March 15th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m., followed by our regular monthly meeting on Monday, March 15th, 2021 at 7 p.m. here at City Hall.
Second.
Motion's been second. Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson. Aye. Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming.